Good morning, my name is Raquel, and this is my podcast. I want to welcome all new and returning viewers. And today is Sunday, 5th of March. Don't know what I was thinking. It's the 5th of March only. It's very overcast. Again, we've been having weird. It's like sunny one day, raining the next. It's been raining pretty much off and on the whole week this past week, but they now are saying that we're gonna have good weather again come Tuesday, and temperatures are gonna be up on 20 plus again. They're currently around the 15-degree mark or so. It's not really cold. I went outside with the dogs like half an hour ago or so, and it's fine. It's not cold at all. There's no wind. Yesterday it was chillier because of the wind blowing and all that, but it's not. I don't think it's that cold. But like I said, my temperature regulator, shall we say? I don't know. I don't feel the cold that easily. So what I find to not be cold, other people might find cold. So anyway, let's get on to finished objects and whips and everything else that I have to show you. Again, like I said, because it's overcast outside, the lighting inside here is not that great, so we'll just have to do with what we have. So this is a short, or I filmed on Tuesday, so it's kind of short week. So I can't really remember what I showed you last week on the podcast. I know on Tuesday I showed you progress on the baby blanket I was knitting, and I showed you, I think, the couple of blocks I was working on for the pinwheel blanket, but I can't remember which ones I showed you, so I'm just going to show you all the ones I have until now. This is the second row. The first row is already all attached. What I'm doing is I'm knitting the blocks separately and then attaching them all at the end, so that the first thing I do is I weave in all the ends, and then I attach them all with the crochet method I'm using. So I still have one block to complete the row, and I can start doing that. So the first one is sock yarn from Opal and from Shopple, and I started weaving ends. I can just chop all these ends off now. I started doing that yesterday. The rest I still have to sew in ends. So this was number 2. This is all Yarn Adventure sock. The reason I'm only using one arm is because Rusty is using my other arm as a pillow. But I might have to remove that in a second because I will need it for the next item to show you. So this was block number 3. And then we have block number 4. This is my RGO yarn. The previous one was just miscellaneous stock yarn. And then this is the last block I did, and this is Yarn Adventures 570. This is discontinued yarn, but I still have quite a bit of it in my stash, so I'm just going to use it up. So yeah, that is my pinwheel blanket for now. Okay, I need my arm, sorry. I already have the yarn for the last the last block in here. I just need to knit it. So then the other finished item I have is my baby blanket, which is not really a baby blanket anymore. It's just too big. So I'm only going to show you half of it because it's just too big. I just measured it, and I wrote it down. Let's see. It is 114 centimeters by 137 centimeters, and that's at roughly 44 inches by 54 inches. So yeah. So here it is. This is BMG. Sorry, I'll talk like this, otherwise you won't be able to hear me. This is BMG yarn, BMG Affinitas yarn baby. It's 100% acrylic, and it's anti-allergic, and it's really soft, suitable for baby. It can go in the washing machine, and that's the reason I used it for making this blanket. I think on Tuesday when I showed you, I was working on this stripe, so I just added this at the end. So that was it. That's the blanket, all done. Just need to weave in the ends here. Um, and then I can send it off along with the baby sweater. My friend doesn't know it. I've not mentioned who it's for, and because I don't know if she watches. I don't think so, but I don't know. Just in case, I won't say who it's for. She'll see it when she gets it. So those are my finished objects, and we're gonna go straight into whips. Dakota's come to say hi. You wanna come say hi? Come on. Hello. Say hello. What's going on? I'm sorry if you can hear any background noise. I guess the upstairs neighbors have their grandkids around. They've been making a whole lot of noise the whole morning. They've thankfully switched off the music, which was super loud, but okay. So, works in progress. I only have one other than the pinwheel blanket, but that's an ongoing thing. The reason after I finished the baby blanket, I didn't want to cast on anything new, because I was expecting the first pattern for the Sock Madness knit along the competition, I suppose, that's being hosted on the Sock Madness Forever group on Ravelry. I was expecting that I was expecting that pattern to be released on the 1st of March, straight, like, you know, early in the morning, wake up, there's a pattern. But no. What happens is the pattern specification, so yarn you need, needles you need, if you need, you know, that kind of technical information, that gets released, and then the person has 48 hours to release the pattern. They basically waited for 48 hours. And as I didn't want to start any other socks because I wanted my needles free, I worked on the pinwheel blanket. So the pattern only was released maybe on Tuesday around 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, it was roughly that, because I left the office around 6:30 or so, and I came home, walked the dogs, and then switched on the computer, and by then it was already available for download. These patterns are only available to people who've signed up for Sock Madness, and they will become available after Sock Madness has finished. I don't know if they're going to be free. Some designers might offer them up for free. Others will probably have them on Ravelry for sale. Oh, sorry. The cat kept me up most of the night. He woke me up at 4:30, and then he woke me up again at 7, and he wouldn't let me sleep anymore. So, anyway, I started doing these 2 at a time, and this morning I stopped doing that, and I ripped one of them out and restarted it again, and I'll show you why in a minute. First, let me show you the yarn I'm using. This is the yarn. This is tiger yarn. It's just like dark blue, green, hints of black and stuff like that. So that's the yarn I'm using. No, I was doing them 2 at a time. Sorry, I'm gonna stop, have something to drink, and I'll be back. sorry, I'm back. So I was talking about the yarn. This is Tiger yarn. Just regular soft yarn, 75-25 yarn. And I started knitting these 2 at a time on my 2.25 high sharp needles. But this is how it looks. And okay, I can't give it away because it's a pattern not available to everyone. But basically, there's 2 sizes, a medium and a large. And the medium size usually has you cast on 64 stitches. This one has you cast on 72 stitches, which is a lot. It's like the 8 stitches larger than I would normally cast on, but you definitely need it. And the reason I decided to rip one of them out this morning, I didn't rip out both of them because I wanted to show you the reason why. So this is the original sock I started. This took me basically, okay, I did the cuff for both socks on Thursday when the pattern was released, and then I think on Friday I got 10 rows done, and yesterday I managed to get 20 rows done, and I think this morning I got maybe 3 or 4 rows done before I stopped and decided to just rip it out, because this stitch pattern is not at all stretchy. I cannot get this over my foot. I tried putting this on my hand. The ribbing, as you can see, is like super loose because there's 72 stitches on there, which is really too big for me, but I have trouble, as you can see, I have trouble putting this on my hand, and it will not fit over my foot. So that's when I decided to rip it out, and I wasn't getting gauge anyway, so I needed to change that. So what I've done is I knit the ribbing in 2.25 millimeters anyway. And okay, with the Sock Madness patterns for the competition, you can't modify anything of the pattern other than length. You need to have you need to knit the pattern as written. Obviously you can change needle size to get gauge. You use your own yarns. Obviously you don't have to use the yarns that they mention. You just have to make sure it's sock yarn, and the sock has to have a minimum length of 9 inches, which is roughly 23 centimeters in the foot. But obviously if you have a bigger foot, you can knit to fit your foot, so make it longer. You can't knit shorter socks. It has to be the 9-inch length. But there's there's like a thread on Ravelry in that group that for this sock. By the way, the pattern is Twisted Madness, I believe by Gina Meyer. It's up on Ravelry. If you type in Twisted Madness in the pattern section, you'll see it straight away. It's like this light green sock, but like I said, it's not available to the general public, only to those who are doing the Sock Madness. Anyway, I was having a hard time knitting these. This was going really slow on the 225 millimeter needles. So what I've done is I've done the ribbing longer. I've done it my usual length. This is half my usual length, a bit more, but now I've done 20 rows of the ribbing, which is allowed. I just need to make sure that the rest of the leg, I need to have the right, I can't count the extra rows of ribbing I've done to qualify for the length in the leg. I need to have the length as specified in the pattern. And someone's already basically calculated how many rows you need to do if you have gauge. So like I said, I've redone it, and now I've gone up to 275 needles for the pattern section. And as you can see, it's a lot looser now compared to this one. I'll put them side by side. To begin with, you can see the back one here. Maybe not. I'll put it to the side where there's light. It's already wider, and this one doesn't even. The one on the front, I'm stretching this to max, and that's like the size of the one at the back. So this one is going to stretch a lot more. So this will fit over my foot now. So, but that means I had to go up 2 needle sizes to be able to make this fit. And I've checked, and gauge is now not 100%. I'm still slightly off in the row gauge, so I might have to knit slightly longer to get the 5 inches of leg, but that's okay. I'll just knit it slightly longer. That's not a problem. And I see that I've made a mistake over here, which I'm gonna have to fix. Obviously wasn't paying attention. Where's the mistake? Or not? Maybe not. I'll have to check that. So this is the first, and I'm doing these only one at a time now because these are my Addy lace needles, and they have only an 80 centimeter cable, and doing them 2 at a time is just too tight on the needles. I have ordered the higher sharps in this size though, and the 2.5 millimeters as well, so that I can do them 2 at a time in future if I ever need these needle sizes. It's rare for me to use the needle sizes like other than the 2.25, but you know, like in this case I needed the larger size. What do you want, Dakota? Huh? You can't have his food. No, you can't. She wants the cat food. She's not allowed. But she wants it, and she can't get to it. That's why she's coming here to annoy me and beg me, because she wants the cat food. Actually, it's not specifically the cat food. It's the treats I've just given them all. While I went to get something to drink, I decided to give them a treat to see if they would, you know, lie down quietly. But now she wants the treat I gave the cat, who, unlike the 2 dogs, savors them and doesn't eat all of them at the same time. Dakota just gobbles hers up. So, go lie down, okay? Go, bye. I did that. Go lie down. No, go lie down. Bye. So yeah. I just need to finish this pair of socks now as quickly as possible. You have 2 weeks from the day the pattern is released, so I have 2 weeks from Thursday, so I have until the 16th of March to finish them. But I want to finish these as quickly as possible because I need to take photos of them, and during the week I don't really get that much time during the day to take photos. I'm home very shortly at lunch, basically to have lunch and to walk the dog, so it's not usually a time I have any time to take photos. So I'm hoping to finish these as quickly as possible. And maybe now it's a lot easier. I mean, I did all this morning, like maybe an hour or so, whereas this took me several hours to get this far. This, you know, it's the same height almost. It took me an hour or so to do this, so it's going a lot faster now on these bigger needles. It might mean that I use up a whole bunch more yarn, but I still have more. I have extra skeins of this stuff, of this color, so I'm not too worried. If I use more, then that's fine. So yeah, it's going to be patterned all the way down the foot. Again, something I don't particularly like, but if I want to qualify for the next round, I'm going to have to knit these socks as written, and I don't have a problem with them. If in the end now it's all tangled, I'm just going to chuck it back in there. If it bothers me to wear them, I'll just give them to my mom. She has the same size foot as me, so she'll get a new pair of socks maybe. So yeah, anyway, on to socks then. So, that's it, what I had in terms of knitting to show you. As you can see, I have my ball winder over here. I'm going to do the cake up the other. I can now rip out the other sock, so I'm just going to wind it up over there now. I don't know what it is with these 2 dogs today. They're like very attention seeking. I know what she wants right now. She wants the cat treat, but she's not allowed. So anyway, yesterday, as I mentioned last week, or I mentioned last week or on Tuesday, I can't remember. I went to Famalicão, which is about half an hour drive from here. Went with a couple of friends, and we went to Dona Agulha, which is a yarn store there. She's recently moved locations, so I've not been to this new location. It's smaller than the original store she was at, but I don't know. It's quite nice. I liked it. I did take a whole bunch of photos, so once I'm finished editing the podcast, I'll edit my photos as well, and I'll add a couple of photos in here of the store, how it is now. She's really putting me down. Okay, so, but I wasn't able to resist. I had to buy some sock yarn. We're in this sock madness season, so it's all about knitting socks. So, and I'd not seen this yarn before, so I thought I'd try it out. And it's really nice and soft. The color, enough. Okay, go. Enough, go. So this is Katia Olay Socks Comfort Tweed, and it's superwash, 75% wool and 25% nylon, and it has, 50 grams, 210 meters, it's like standard sock yarn. And this is color number 54, and then I have color number 66. So these are the two colors I got, Katia Olay. This one's more brown, and this one's more pink. Let's see if you can see this properly. There you go. That's pretty accurate. It's maybe slightly more pinkish, greenish than what's on the screen. Or at least on my screen it's showing up more blue. And this is the other color. Yeah, it's showing up a lot more blue on the screen than in actual life. It's more like yellow, brown shades. So let's see if you can see the difference. So I got 2 each because I need 2 to make a pair of socks. And depending on the pattern, the next pattern, I might cast these on as just plain vanilla socks, we'll see. Then she had some other yarn, which I will not be using for socks, but I have an idea of what I'm going to be using it for. And that's the Katia Darling Rainbow. And it's comparable to the shuffle wall, the crazy Sauber ball, in terms of color changing. It has fairly long color changes. So I got these 2 colors. That's the only 2 colors she had available. But yeah, I'm probably going to do a color work cowl in this. Or no, I know I'm going to do a color work cowl in this. I just don't know which one just yet. And then I went to meet up with Angela, that's the owner of the store by the way, on Monday last week when I had the day off. And we were talking, and she brought some of the things she had in the shop. She has like these little bags. I'll show you these bags. You can't really see the design, but I took a photo, I'll add it in. And it says Dona Agulha, which is the name of the shop. Anyway, she's selling these little bags with mini skeins for those who are knitting, the square blankets, or just minis to swap or to use for anything. She sells them. There's 12 skeins in each bag of 10 grams each. So she brought me those on Monday for me to have a look at what yarns she had in them and everything. And she also brought some other mini skeins that she had available, which are by Mrs. Robinson, which is a dyer from, I believe, from Oeiras in the Lisbon area, which is in the south of the country. And those are 15 grams minis. And I have a couple here I can show you. Dakota, go away. You're being annoying. Told you no. So these are some of the minis I got yesterday. And these are, I believe, 75 to 25 sock. they have no labels, so I don't really know what they are, and I've never used this yarn before. So I believe she has a site. I'll look it up, but I believe she has a page on Facebook for her yarns. Um, but I'll see if I can. I'll talk to Angela to see how you can contact Mrs. Robinson for her yarns if you're interested. Anyway, what we've been talking about was that I suggested she make some sock blanks to have in the store to sell, to use. What I suggested was that she make some just plain white from white sock yarn, and then have people dye them up. Make this like a whole project for her clients. Like they come in and they learn how to dye them up, and then dry them off and all that kind of thing, and then use them to make either socks or shawls or whatever. So she took the idea and she went with it, and she created some sock blanks during the week to have available for yesterday, which was the celebration of 4 years existence of the shop. And like I said, I went with a couple of friends of mine, and I met a viewer of the podcast, which was really nice. So Philippa, it was really nice to see you yesterday, and your daughter. Hope to meet you again sometime soon. So yeah, I couldn't resist bringing home one of the sock blanks. So I showed you the minis I got, and then I got this sock blank for myself. And unlike the ones that Rosario does, the Donna Maria ones, which are created knit double, using the thread double, this is knit in the round on the knitting machine, so it's like knit in the round. And then she dyed them up, and so they're not 100% identical on both sides. So this is the one I got, like this. Okay, and on the other side is like that. So I can't wait to start these, to make a pair of socks out of these. And this is the one I got for myself, and then I decided to get one for you guys. So for one of the prizes that I'll be giving away at the end of the month for the socks, for the cal I'm hosting regarding socks, is a sock blank by Donna Agulha, and this is the one I chose for you guys. Like I said, she didn't have. I mean, she only had so much time to make these, but she will have more available. She just needs to get some more yarn. What she used for this one, I believe, was the botany lace by Araucania. She had a couple of colors that weren't selling, so she just over dyed them with food coloring and that kind of thing. So this is for you guys. This is the first prize for the knit along that I'm hosting this month, and I've not decided which other prizes I have for you guys. I have my weekends fully planned basically for the rest of the month, so I won't have time to make any project bags. So what I'm thinking, I might find some time to make some stitch markers. What I'm thinking is maybe offering up a couple of patterns. I'm going to talk to a couple of designers, see if they're willing to donate a couple of prizes in terms of patterns, and we'll see. But for now, this is the one prize I do have. So, and there's finished socks already. I've not opened up a finished object thread yet. I will do so. I'll try to do so today. I just don't know if I have time for it today. I still have a lot of things to do, and I want to get cracking on my socks, which are over there, because I have to catch up on 3 days of knitting that I basically just ripped out. So yeah, that's it for today. I think I'll add in some photos at the end of the shop, Donna Agulha, and I'll add in all the links to how you can contact her. And I'm going to have some lunch now and edit the podcast, edit my photos, and see if I can get Dakota just to go lie down and not beg me for a cat food. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week, and have a nice week. Bye.